up. We'll cover those in a second. But I want to show you a feature on LinkedIn. This is a bonus. This isn't number 1 of the 10. Brand new feature on LinkedIn to help you put together your list of where you want to work. Really cool. Keep an eye on this. Here's what it is. Everybody watching? This is nowhere written. You'll take your own notes. Interests. Okay? Everybody with me? Interest. Slide down. Education. Okay, I'm not coming back. Education. Okay, now we're on the education page. Field of study explorer. Field of study explorer. Click that. Next, under explore more, type in the major, the school major that people get for the kind of job you're looking for. For example, marketing, right? Accounting. They give you some here, but you can just come down to search by name. And let's say I want to do marketing. Okay, here are typical marketing majors. LinkedIn is prompting me. See this? So I'm gonna click general marketing. So what I'm doing is I'm looking for a major that somebody would list on their profile. Went to Marquette, majored in marketing. That's what this thing's doing. Marketing. 3.7 million people are on LinkedIn that say they had marketing as their major on their profile when they went to school. But this is how the list comes up. Watch this. Scroll over to where they live. Because you say you want a job in Milwaukee. Click the search button, because Milwaukee's not on this list. Those are big, really big cities. Milwaukee. Start typing in Milwaukee. It says, oh, there's Greater Milwaukee. Click that. Okay, now go back. Here's a list of all the people that went to school with a major in accounting, marketing, where they work. 478 of them are at Kohl's, 175 are at GE Healthcare, 160 at Northwestern Mutual. Now, if you want to go a little deeper and go, well, some of these people, I'm going to just get the people who say they're not only had a marketing major, but they're still in marketing as their business. Might change the list just a little bit. 104 at Kohl's, 49 at GE Healthcare, and so on. There's your list. There's your list. That's it. I mean, right down the list, you can go see all the way down to there's 8 people at Rexnord and 9 people at Assurant, and you can do that for any major you want. Pretty cool, right? I mean, so if you don't have a list, you can get your own list to at least know these are the places where all the marketing people are working in Milwaukee. It's called Field of Study Explorer. Try it out. Works great. Okay. All right. Number 3 is this. Find and connect with recruiters in your industry or your town or whatever. Recruiters are a great connection on LinkedIn. Why? Well, they might find you a job. That's a pretty good reason. But that's not even the reason I'm saying they're a great connection on LinkedIn.
They know other recruiters.
They just know a lot of people, don't they?
Yeah, big networks.
They have huge networks. And usually they're huge networks loaded up with other candidates like you, but also employers, right? So if the employers are looking for you, an employer might find you as a second degree from a recruiter. So when people go, I don't want to connect with recruiters. Why? I don't know, just somebody said I shouldn't. No, that's crazy. Recruiters are a great connection for a whole bunch of reasons. How do you find them? Well, you use the search engine. Get real comfortable with the search engine, my friends. It's really what it's all about. It's just this beautiful database. Advanced, just like we did before. You'll get to this page. I want to get all 4. I always click all 4 boxes. And then I come over here in the title box, I put recruiter, current, and then if you want to find a specific for marketing kind of recruiter, sometimes they specialize right in certain things. And I want one around here because I at least would like to meet with them. Maybe, maybe not, but just try it. So here's the 651 recruiters that are in Milwaukee that specialize in marketing. Will these people accept your connection request?
Sure.
What are we to them? Inventory. Your money. So you don't even have to really write a nice connection request. You could probably get away with, I'd like you to join my network on LinkedIn, because you're money to them. But I wouldn't. I'd still say, hey, I see you're a recruiter in marketing. Love to meet with you sometime. I have a great resume. I'd love to forward it on to you. But in the meantime, look at my profile. I'd be honored to have you join my network. That's how I close all of my invitations. I explain how do we want to work together, or what's going on, or who we know in common, or whatever. Period. In the meantime, I would be honored to have you join my network. Just think about that statement. Doesn't it sound nice? Doesn't it sound like we're going into this relationship at a respect level? Now, if you can't say that, if all of a sudden you're going to start spamming them the day after 4 or 5 times because now you got their email address, don't do that. But if you can say that, and I think we can, it just starts a relationship going off. This is going to be a trusted relationship that we're going to honor each other. And I just think people melt. It's a melting statement. And you could use that. People all over the world are using that statement now. I wish I would have found a way to make a living off it every time I see that now. Because people are using it because it's just the right way to end a connection request. Still doesn't mean they'll accept, because remember, it's their network. They can do what they want. But when they get that, they go, pretty nice lady. Look what she said. I still want to connect with her because my network is my network and I have a different strategy, but that's pretty nice that she did that anyway, right? So you can't get worked up when you get a no or no answer from somebody, because people do have different reasons, especially HR people, by the way. HR people are probably not going to accept your connection request even though you send one really nicely. Why? Because if they accepted every person that wanted to, right? And it's their network, so they really have a real struggle. In their person, they don't want to have every candidate in the world that wants to work for Johnson Controls in their network. But in their job, that would probably be a good idea to do. So they're like struggling with that. So you got to appreciate their struggle because it's their LinkedIn account. But still, your little note to them catches their attention. They think about you, and they may not answer, and you still get some traction out of that. Okay, number 5, we talked about no, we didn't talk about number 4. Number 4 is this. Use the search engine for looking for jobs on LinkedIn. How's that? Jobs. And this is looking for jobs that are posted by companies on LinkedIn. So in this case, let's look for marketing manager job. We'll look for it in Milwaukee. $753. Okay, so 753 jobs posted with the words marketing manager in them that say they're in Milwaukee. Hopefully you're using this tool already, that you can go look for jobs that are on LinkedIn. And you can apply for them right through LinkedIn. You don't even have to send in resumes. You just apply right. Your profile gets forwarded to them and you're good to go. It also tells you this. Look at this. Tells you exactly if you know anybody at that company. Okay? Now, LinkedIn tells you know some people at that company. What are you going to do with that? Just think it's interesting? No, you're going to, right? They give you this box for a reason, not just to take up space, right? They're basically saying, over there, there's some of your friends. Why don't you call them and tell them you just applied and see if they might be able to help you, and talk to the people there and say how good you are. They know you. That's what it's there for. I wish it just had that little arrow like, look. You're lucky enough to know somebody there. Work it. Work and leverage that. Okay, let's go back to the list. When you get to this list, you could also come down here and filter even further into the kind of job it is by experience level. That's one of the spots over here. So you can go in here and click on mid-level, entry-level. It'll keep filtering down. When you get a list that's nice for you, bless you, use this. Save search. Save search. What Safe Search is, you told LinkedIn, send me an email every week, or every day, or every month, with the new job postings that meet that search criteria. When a company posts tomorrow, you're going to get a notice from LinkedIn. It says, here's these 3 new marketing jobs. They were just posted this week. You didn't even have to remember to come to LinkedIn. They send you a note. You get 10 of these Safe Searches for jobs for free. So by the way, you don't have to upgrade. Somebody would ask me that, I'm sure. You don't have to upgrade. You'll be fine on the free account. Upgrade is a waste of your money. You get enough Safe Searches that you'll be good to go. You get 10. Okay, so that's search for jobs on LinkedIn and save the results. That's what number 4 is. Okay, number 5. No, number 5 is sharing status updates. My note says 1 every day. Okay, how many people in this room have, and this is a status update, right? On your homepage, right? Okay, raise your hand if you have shared a status update in the last week. Just 1. Good. What'd you share?
I shared an article that was written by someone on LinkedIn about Facebook post click.
Why did you do that?
Because I thought it was interesting.
Okay, why did you do that? Because you thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. Somebody else? Yes.
I shared an article that I thought was interesting and to get my name out there on other people's LinkedIn pages.
Okay. Both great ideas. Exposure. Hello. Exposure. Getting in front of an audience on a consistent basis. Just like my buddy, I told you, he posted consistently. He's putting his little smiling face and his name and an article in front of a bunch of people consistently. That's powerful. Especially if, let's say the Johnson Controls lady accepts your connection request. And all of a sudden, you do what I'm suggesting. You post something every day that's smart about marketing. You know, an article that you found that was interesting. All of a sudden, she sees your name, your face, pop up consistently. You become top of mind with her, right? It's exposure, and it's free, right? So get in the habit of posting something every day. It's easy to do, right? Because most of the articles we read online, there's a share button. And if you don't know what to post, which is hard to believe, because you have an expertise, we all do, and you're reading stuff about your industry or whatever, then just connect with me, which, by the way, be sure to connect with me. You see how many connections I have? Okay.
You're trying to get the 10,000.
I'm like the 6th most connected person in the city of Milwaukee with a big heart. Right? Who would love to help you. How can you not connect with a guy like me who the minute you connect with me, I give you 10,000 second-degree connections. And 4,500 of those are in Milwaukee. You'd be crazy not to do that. Now, whatever you do, try not to send me. Now, if you already pushed your mobile app as we were having the meeting here, I forgive you. I forgive you, okay? All right. Okay, posting status updates. Just start getting in the habit of doing that. You're getting exposure, right? And who are you getting in front of by posting a status update? Your network, handpicked by you. Oh, my point was this. If you're connected with me, you'll see I will put in front of you 6 posts every day about LinkedIn. That's my expertise. That's what you want to connect with me because I'm going to help you. And all you got to do is hit like, share, or comment. Takes that fast. And your network's going to get some help from LinkedIn that comes from me but shared by you because you want to help your network. And next time I see you, I give you a big hug because you're helping me. Right? But I don't want you to post always about LinkedIn because that's not really your expertise, right? I want you to post your stuff so that the lady from Johnson Controls says, ooh, look at her. She's really smart about that stuff. I mean, you can do me once in a while, but that's not the deal is post stuff about your expertise. Make a comment. And don't just post an article. Say something. I really found page 3, the chart on page 3, so helpful. I hope you will too. Period. Share. And why do I just want you to say something to your friends. I want you to say, I found this article and I thought this was interesting about it. I hope you'll just talk like you talk. For me, you think, it's so easy for you to talk like that, Wayne. You just know what to say. Well, you know what to say too. It would be like if I was sitting in front of you, you would just say, I really like this chart in this article, right? Just say it. Have some confidence about this. This is sort of fun. When you start doing this, in the beginning it's weird. If you're on Facebook, it's not weird. Trust me. People that are younger, this posting thing is, I understand how to post, you have to tell me what to do. But for us that are a little bit older, it's weird. It's just weird, right? But it's cool once you get the ball rolling and then somebody comments back. But you know, if nobody ever comments back, you've gotten in front of your audience on a daily basis, almost like saying, I'm reminding you, I'm still here. And if you hear of anything, I would like to hear about it. And I'm going to show up every day, sort of on your doorstep, hoping that you won't forget that I'm here and I'm your friend and I'm looking. And that's the whole goal behind it, other than sharing information in the hope they learn. I want you to get the exposure for sure. I would always post between 11 and 3. I think that's the best time, but it's not critical. And always put a link in it so that a picture comes up. Right? Always put a link in it so a picture comes up. Okay, number 6. Adjust your setting for who's viewed your profile. Okay, who's viewed your profile? Let's talk about that feature. This is your home page. How many of you have ever clicked that? Raise your hands higher. Okay, here's my question for the people who don't have their hands raised. Are you not curious who stalked you? I can't believe you're not curious enough to click that button, right? I mean, it's the only social media site that gives us this. Facebook doesn't, Twitter doesn't, Google Plus doesn't. Is it creepy? A little bit. Is it useful? Oh yeah, really useful. And if you're sitting there going, huh? Useful? This is the #1 rated feature on LinkedIn. My survey, by the way, you have a half a sheet of paper in front of you. That half a sheet of paper will get you on my mailing list, where every Sunday during the Packer game or the Brewer game, you will get a LinkedIn tip from me, because I figure you got some time on your hands to read something. I do a survey with that list every year, asking people what their favorite features. That was the thing that was playing in the beginning, right? Where I was sharing your favorite features and all that stuff. Well, 2 years ago, this feature won, and has won the last 2 years now, as the best feature on LinkedIn. And the funny thing about this feature was, I was not using it productively when it won the survey. And I remember looking over at my wife, Brenda, who's a great LinkedIn expert, as you can probably tell. And I said, honey, really strange. #1 feature on LinkedIn, and I don't even know what to do with it. She said, don't you ever click it? Yeah, I click it, I'm curious. I said, but I haven't made a penny with it. Not a penny. Well, that week, I was in New Jersey. And I remember, it was a sales conference for a company. There were 150 salespeople in the room from all over the world. And I did my presentation, and I sat down next to a guy from New Jersey. He was from the town, and I said, so tell me what your favorite feature is. He says, oh, Wayne, that's easy. Who's viewed your profile? I said, oh, I'm so glad you and I are having a beer together. Tell me how you use this feature. Oh, sure. I love this. I told him about my survey, that it popped to be the #1. I don't know what to do with it. He said, Wayne, so do you ever click it like that and get the list? I said, yeah, from time to time. I think it's interesting. He said, then when you get somebody on the list that's interesting to you, do you ever click to a profile? I said, sometimes. Okay, good. So now they looked at you, you got to their profile, and they look interesting to you. They looked, right? Now what do you do? I said, nothing. He said, how come? I said, I don't know. What would you do? He said, why aren't you reaching out and contacting them? What? You do that? He said, yeah, I do that. I said, wow, that feels so aggressive to me and a little creepy. And he said, Wayne, it's so interesting you bring that up. He said, because as a sales guy in New Jersey, we love doing business against people from the Midwest because you think everything's too aggressive. He said, we out here in New Jersey, not only do I contact these people through LinkedIn, the ones that are right, I look for their phone number, I'll Google them and try to find their phone number, leave them a voicemail. I'm not done. I'll try to find their email address. He said, LinkedIn, email, phone. I said, in the same afternoon? He said, yeah. He said, if I could find their home address, I'd be rapping on the door. Hey, they saw you looked at my profile. You want to talk about something, or what are you doing here? He said, Wayne, what you don't get is this. What this feature is, somebody visited you. He said, you might have been on that list, of the big list of all the marketing people from Milwaukee, or all the LinkedIn trainers, right? Because we showed up in a search. And they walk into your store, and they look around. Nobody shakes their hand. So they go, nobody wants to meet me here. I think I'll go to the next LinkedIn trainer store, or next marketing executive store. Maybe they'll say hi to me. Hi, see you stopped in my store. Any questions? And he goes, Wayne, nobody's life is so boring that they come home from church on Sunday and they're going to watch the football game and they say, hey, honey, I'll be busy over here. Packers are on. But I'll be on LinkedIn. But today, what I'm going to do, because life is so boring in this house, I'm just going to look at random profiles. Yeah, just random. Just people, just anybody I can see, because it's so boring that that's more fun than anything we got going on in this house. He said, nobody's life is that boring. Somebody's on your profile, you're interesting to them. Now, that doesn't mean they're interesting to you. I'm not saying you should reach out to every one of these people. But the ones that are, I said, so what do you say? He said, Wayne, I just tell the truth. Hi, I see you looked at my profile. I looked at yours. Any questions? Can I help you? I help companies like yours all the time. Or, in your case, heard about your company in the past. Any openings in the marketing department? Maybe is that why you're checking me out? Trust me on this one. If you have applied somewhere and you all of a sudden see maybe a real person who will disclose their stuff and they're in the HR department or they're in the marketing department, don't sit in the corner and go, oh boy, she came into my store. I'll bet you she's going to call me. Honey, I can't go out tomorrow because this lady's going to call me, I'm sure. No, she might have a whole bunch of people on her list and she's going to wait to see who's the aggressive one. Because do employers like aggressiveness? I have not met an employer that says, will you just tone it down a little bit? No, they're looking to see if you can be proactive. Because that's what you're telling them, right? Number one, you're telling them, I'm proactive. I'm on my game around here. I saw you and I came to say hi. Number two, what does it tell you? It tells you, I know how to use LinkedIn. That's me. I ain't no dinosaur around here. And so it's telling them two things about you and you never met them. Right? Two good things. So keep your eye on this. It's a goodie.
How long can you see views if people check out your profile?
So if you're on the free account, you see the last 5 people. And they just keep, new one comes in, 5th one drops off. If you're on the free account. Now, you can't do anything about those 2 people on the end, just so you know. Those people have decided to be anonymous, fully anonymous, and then partially anonymous. And the 2 people on the left said, no problem. You can see me. So which setting, that's your option, by the way. It's your option what your setting is when you're stalking. And no paid account in the world can unveil those 2 people. No money in the world will LinkedIn let you see those 2 people. So you're in charge of your stalker setting. What do you think your stalker setting should be of those 3? Which one?
Full disclosure.
Full disclosure. Because after all, you have a great headline now, don't you? It explains clearly what you're doing. You have a nice picture. After all, full disclosure. That's right. That's what you should be. Okay, so who's viewed your profile? Make sure your setting's right. Make sure it's on full disclosure. It's in the book. And then keep your eye on this feature, my friends, because there are people visiting your store. And you ought to reach out, and there's nothing wrong with saying hi. Right? The truth will set you free. Go in there and talk to the people that have checked you out. Because what did they do? They took this step, didn't they? And right, they took the step, they walked into your store, and they're waiting for you to say hi to them. And it feels a little weird just because sort of the creepiness of the feature, right? But remember, top-rated feature, and you should be using it. And it took me, that guy in New Jersey, I was 4 years on LinkedIn thinking it was just interesting. And now, I'm keeping track, 5 clients from that feature. 5. 5 paying customers, because I reach out to people that meet my search criteria, and I ask them. And not everybody goes from, I connect and I get a check from them, but they hear from me. You know, they hear from me, and sometimes I'll write them and say, I see you own a company, and I'd love to send you a copy of my book, because I've already done my homework and seen how big their company, and I'll send them a copy of my book. Nobody turns that down. And we send a copy off, and maybe I'll hear from them, maybe I won't, but they would look good enough, and they were on my profile. Okay, number 7, review company pages for all your target companies. Okay, here's what that is. Company pages. We'll stick with the Johnson Controls theme tonight. Most companies now have company pages on LinkedIn. Okay? You find them by going up to the search button, changing it to companies, typing in the name of the company, click on the one you want. Here's Johnson Controls. The bigger companies have a careers tab right here. So they got all the jobs on the second page of their company page, all listed out for you. There's usually a little video. All the jobs are over here. And if you follow, see this here? If you hit the follow button, then you will get all the new jobs that Johnson Control posts automatically in your feed by following companies, okay? So your list, you got your list of target companies, right? What you ought to do tonight is go follow every one of those companies. Follow, 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 follow. And maybe you'll be as lucky as a lady about a year ago who was in a class just like this and contacted me a couple months later and said, Wayne, it worked. What worked? Tell me, I love the stories. She said, I got my job because of that follow button thing. I said, how did it work? She said, well, I did, just like you said. I went home and I boop, 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 boop. Then I went to bed. A couple of weeks later, guess what? Phone call. Ring, ring, ring. Hi. I'm the HR director at this company that you hit the follow button on. I saw you. By the way, companies can look at who's following them. And she said, why are you following us? And this lady said, well, I went to this class. This guy told me to do it. And she said, well, it might be your lucky day. Are you looking for a job? And she said, yeah, that's why he told me to do it. She said, well, I looked at your profile already. You look great. Want to come in this week? In job. And that, because I'm telling HR people to look for you because you'll be there. I did a class last week for HR people. I told them, they'll be waiting for you. So you make sure you go look for them because I'll be with them next Thursday and I'll tell them to go, right? So I'm trying to help both of you sort of get together, right? With a real simple tool. You just hit follow and they just hit followers and they get the big list. And there you are. Hi. I'm glad we followed, and vice versa. Away you go, okay? Follow the companies. You can follow as many companies you want. You can unfollow as many companies you want. You're not going to get bombarded with stuff. You're just going to get job postings and status updates, which aren't all that many from companies usually. Okay, cool. Number 8, craft a killer headline and a summary. We talked about the headline. I'm not going to talk about the summary. It's in the book. Number 9, be sure your profile has, I say, 3 calls to action. I'd be happy if you put 1. Here's what I'm talking about. So here's my profile. Here's what a call to action is. A call to action could be any of these things, like this. Watch this, download this. What this is your professional gallery, where you get to upload files, PowerPoints, videos, audios, PDF files, Word files, right up to your profile. People can download right from their, right with their jammies on Sunday afternoon when they find you, while they're watching the Packers, just download whatever. Or links to websites. So an uploaded file or a link to a website. So what would you guys put in here? What could you put in here that I might be interested in and you would like me to download because we want something else to happen?
Something I worked on?
Could be a project. That'd be great, right? Something that shows your expertise. That'd be wonderful. What else? We're missing some stuff. Simple stuff.
Video of yourself.
What's that?
A video of yourself.
Yeah, video would be great. I teach the college kids because all the time I say, you know what? Do a little video. Hi, I'm graduating in 4 months. I'm this kind of person. This is what I'm passionate about. I hope you'll call me for an interview. Shows your personality. You can do it on a phone. You don't need a production studio. That's great. Now, most of you won't do that, but I think it's cool if you do. What else? We're missing some easy stuff. How about your resume? Put your resume there. How about all your letters of recommendation that you have in a PDF, just PDF them, put them right here. How about, those are the kinds of things. How about a slideshow about your career? You could build a little PowerPoint about your career, put it right up here. Now, all those things sound a little weird or different, but they'll still stand out. We're trying to tell our story. We're trying to be different than the other 300 people in the stack. Could be those things, right? I call them calls to action because you tell people what to do. Don't miss, watch, download. Those are calls to action. So what you're hoping to do is they read your profile. What could they do next to see another aspect of you? Either some of your work, right? Okay. Number 10. Okay, number 10. Here we go. Groups. We're going to talk about groups. And then I got a couple questions that people brought up. We're going to cover that too. Groups. Let's talk about groups. What kinds of groups are you in on LinkedIn? Just throw out some ideas. Alumni. So schools you went to. That's a good one. What else?
Professional association.
Yeah, the industry you're in, right? The industry you do your work in. Perfect. What else? What other kinds of groups? Hobbies. Right? Fly fishing, motorcycles, Harley Davidson, Packers, Brewers. They're all out there. What's that?
Ham radio.
Ham radio, perfect, right? All those are good. Especially the industry groups. If you join a group, you can post that you're looking for a job in that group for free. It's called a job discussion. It's not a job posting that you have to pay for. It's a job discussion. So if you join an industry group and you post in there, I'm looking, then it's industry people who might read your job discussion and reach out to you. That's one reason you might want to join a group. Does anybody know how many groups you can be in on LinkedIn? 50. 50. Got what's on the sheet? Is it on the sheet of paper? Oh, okay. All right. I forget what's in the outline. 50 groups. What does my point say? Join 50 groups. Oh, no. Wayne, you were pretty good for about an hour. I'm not listening the rest of the way. You stepped over the line. I don't want to join 50 groups because I don't want to get 50 what? Emails. Okay. This will set you free. Ready? Settings. Settings. Groups. Set the frequency of group digest emails. 3 choices. Daily, weekly, never. Guess what the default is? Daily. Yes, you will get bombarded. But look what the right setting is. No. So here's the deal. You're going to join a lot of groups, and I'll tell you why in a second. But you're going to join a lot of groups, but you're going to turn off the emails of probably 40 of them. And you're going to leave 7 or 8 on because they're important to you and you don't want to miss the conversations. But the other 40, you'll go in there if you want to hear about them. So why do you join the other 40? You join the other 40 for these reasons. When I do a search for you, there's a ranking. There's somebody's first, right? So I do a search. Let's just pick this one, see what this one's all, not that one. Okay, here's one. Here's a search for marketing plus POP. What's POP in the marketing world? Point of purchase, right? Is that a keyword? You bet it is. And point of purchase written out too, right? If you're in marketing and you do that, you better have both those words. So I did marketing plus point of purchase in Milwaukee, and there's 846 people met that search criteria. There's 10 people on a page on LinkedIn. So how many pages till you get the last person? 86. 86 pages. Guess what? Nobody gets, right? What's the new definition of the graveyard? Page 3 of a Google search. Right? We usually find what we need after a couple, 2, 3 pages. Same thing here. So what you need to understand about groups is this. Somebody's first, somebody's 846, and there's a whole bunch of people in between. And if I'm looking for you, where do you want to be? First. How do you get to be first? Anybody know? Groups is one of the things. Groups is one of the things. LinkedIn, basically, the answer to that question is, LinkedIn will tell you, we do it all by relevancy. And the relevancy, if you go to Google in the Help Center, go, how do I get to the top of a search? It'll come back, well, we have this fancy little formula called relevancy, and blah, 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 and you do this, and blah, 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 and you go, blah, 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 and that's easy, and you don't understand it, and good luck. Because it's magical. But relevancy is basically this. I'm going to give you, Wayne, the searcher, those 846 people in the order I think most relevant to you. And Chad, if you do that search, you'll have 846 people in the best order for you. And Kathy, your order will be different. And so they're trying to save you time. And they are. Now, how does the relevancy work? In general, this is the most important factor. Do I know you? And if I don't know you, do you have a friend that knows you? Right? So the relationship you have with me, the searcher, is a very important factor. So it sort of shoves all the first degrees to the top, and then the second degrees, and then the third degrees. There's a little mix-up between those. But in general, it says, hey, Wayne, why not put your friends first? You already got friends that know marketing, POP. Call them. If you don't have any of them, why not call a friend's friend? Here they are. So then we're back to the gas in the tank, aren't we? Yeah. So that's the most important thing, relationship. But then other things come into play, like groups, where it goes, well, she's a second degree with you, but you have 450 second degrees. So now how do I get to the top of the second degrees, right below the first degrees, just like I'm a friend, but I'm really not a friend, but how do I get close to the friends? Well, you're in the Green Bay Packer group together. That must be cool. You were just tighter than ever with her. That's what it looks. It looks like groups as a relevancy factor. What else? Want to know how else you move up to the top of the best you can be for the second degrees, or maybe even jump to get in the first when you're a second? Do you have marketing and POP in your skills section? And are you being endorsed for those 2 words? The skills section is hot, but it's really hot if people are endorsing you for those things. I'm looking for those things, right? So the endorsement section says, well, she has it both of those listed as skills. How cool is that? But not only that, Mr. Wayne, she's being endorsed for those things. So she not only thinks she's pretty good at it, but the world says she's good at it too. And look at that. So does that make sense that should move you up in the search? I think so, right? That's critically important. So groups are going to help you move up in a search, big time. Here's the other hidden benefit of groups. You can message anybody you're in a group with for free. But you didn't know that. Normally you can only message who? Right. Everything else is called a what? In-mail. They cost you money. That paid account or $10 a piece if you want to send a message to somebody you're not connected to. But if you're in a group with somebody, you can message them for free. So let's say you land on a second degree profile. Person looks interesting. You decide not to connect, but you'd like to send a message. Shucks. I don't want to spend $10 writing this lady a note, but she's in the St. Louis Cardinal group. What could you do? You join the Cardinal group, and you send out a message to her, and you take your $10 and put it in your pocket for a rainy day, and you send her a note, and then you get out of that Cardinal group. Do not leave that sit on your profile in Brewer country. That will not be good for your brand. You will have a brand degradation by having that on your profile. So that's what's going on with groups, my friend. And there are this many groups on LinkedIn. How do you find groups? Best way to find groups is look at people's profiles that you're interested in, that you like to work with these people and see what groups they're in. That's the best spot. But if you want to just search for them in general, you just come up here to the search box, change this to groups, don't put any word in there, and just see what comes up. And you'll get a list of all 2 million groups that exist on LinkedIn in the order of the biggest group first, the second biggest group, and you can scroll through all 2 million of them and look for some good groups for you. Okay? Okay, so that's groups. Here's what we're going to do. I got 2 questions that were brought up at the break I got to cover. Number 1, what are the risks on LinkedIn? Well, I think here's the situation on that. Risk? It's a good question, right? I mean, this is all new territory, right? I think LinkedIn's a pretty safe site, but I think like anything else, there's people trying to do bad things with good things, and anything could happen. So what you ought to do when it comes to these things, if there's anything I said or anything you read and your belly says, oh, no, 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 no. No home address. I see a box for that, but this belly here says, then don't. Trust this. Trust this on stuff, right? As a matter of fact, don't we wish our kids had a little more belly? Right? We paid for this. We did pay for it. But this is kicking in. It means you got experience. It says, that doesn't feel right to me. Don't do something you don't feel right with, even if Wayne says so. Now, if your belly kicks in and says, you shouldn't be on LinkedIn at all, I think you go buy some Pepto-Bismol. Just take a little bit of the pink stuff and you'll be just fine, because that's a little bit of indigestion. I'm just kidding. You do what you feels right, but always approach these things with some cautiousness, right? Because I think there's just people out there that aren't nice, okay? Oh, somebody want to know how to delete old accounts that you got more than one account. Okay, that is a bad thing. If you got more than one account, and it's easy to do, just search for your name. You'll see if you come up more than once. Go into the Help Center. So the Help Center is this. I went a little fast for you. Up by your face, slide down to the Help Center, put your code in, and you'll be into the Help Center. Oh, where did I go here? Help Center, okay? Type in duplicate account. LinkedIn will give you the steps to get rid of those duplicate accounts. Now, the follow-up question was combining accounts. I've got these accounts, but I've got these other connections. I don't want to lose them. Oh, yeah, you're right. Thank you. Combine. Doesn't combine. Where am I going? It's getting late, my friends. I'm telling you, where did I put it here? I'm combining. That's not right. This is my 4th event today. Help me. Oh, good. Thank you. Oh, honey, I'm almost coming home. Just warm the bed up. Okay. Combining 2 Newsy accounts. What's that?
Merging accounts.
Merging accounts. Cool. Thank you. It looks like they might be able to try to help you with that.
They do it, yeah.
Okay. They never used to. Now they're being more helpful. That's the Help Center. Just go in the Help Center and do stuff. It's amazing how many people write me a note. Wayne, I don't know how to do this. I'll go in the Help Center. I'll cut and paste the answer and say, this is the answer that you could have found in the Help Center had you looked in the Help Center before sending me an email, and I'm answering it tonight at 10:30 at night, and I am super tired, but I'll do that for you. But you should really check out the Help Center. It's all there for you too. It ain't magical, right? Yep. Just do that. It's all there. No problem. I do want to help you though, but just think, first go to the Help Center. If you get stuck there, come see me. I'll try to give you a hand. Okay. While I want to show you another thing that's brand new feature. And then we're going to do questions. This is your settings, right? Settings you got into over here, settings. Request an archive of your data. So you can now get a full zip file from LinkedIn with all of your activity in an Excel spreadsheet for free. No charge. And they'll give that to you within a day. And you know what the best thing you get in that spreadsheet is a download of all your connections into a spreadsheet. First name, last name, current title, current company, and email address of every one of your connections. That's pretty nice. You should do that even if you just are doing it for a security standpoint, in case your account ever goes down. You do it every quarter, you at least got the list of all your connections so you can recover your account. But you might have a way to take that spreadsheet and do something with it, right? Because now you got all the email addresses of those people. Cool stuff. Okay, I'm going to be happy to answer questions. We got through all 10 plus and 11.
Does that have to include the people who have viewed your profile?
No, you won't get that list. Yes, sir.
Just a question, if you're retired and you're looking at really re-engaging the market, right? So you're retired, how do you put that, you had this career, how do you stick that in? Should you use the word retired?
Yeah, so what I would do is, but you want to work, you want to do some,
Exactly.
Okay, I would use my summary. The summary is a place where you tell me what's going on and what's all the stuff below and what's up. And you should just say that. Say, I had a career for 45 years doing this, and I did decide to retire, but now I'm sort of boring. I decided I would come back in the workplace looking for full-time contract work doing the following things. If you know of anybody that's interested in that, you let me know. Just like that. Just say it clearly, and if you do it in the summary, it's way at the top. I don't get lost in all this stuff. You're laying it right out for me. And I go, okay, I get you. So once again, truth will set you free. Question?
Yeah, since it says that you can't have more than one account, and let's say the position you're in now or the career you want to change, how can you do that without angling too completely?
Okay, so the question is, he's going to do a career shift, right? Career shift, also you use your summary. Your summary says something like this. For the last 35 years, I've been this. I've really had a lot of fun and enjoyed my career. I've now decided I want to do this. But here's where you don't stop. Then you go on to explain why your 35 years and the transferable skills you had in those other years make you capable to do this new thing. Because if you don't tell me that, I'll go, and you think you can do this because of what? Your profile says you're all this. So you've got to help me. You've got to help me bridge that gap and go, oh, that makes sense. Because in this job I learned how to do this, in this job I did this, and you wouldn't have known, but in this job I did this, and those three things are what you need to do this new thing, and that's why I'm perfect. Yeah?
Fine line between I have a job and I want to be looking for another opportunity. How do I not tip off my current connections that I work with?
Okay.
That I'm in the marketplace.
So you are a stealth job seeker. Safe to say? Okay.
Sure.
Stealth job seekers, here's what you do. My website, powerformula.net, click on the blog, which, by the way, don't forget to turn in those slips if you'd like to start getting these tips every week, right in your email box. Come down to the search box for the blog, type in the word stealth, hit the search button. It'll lead you to an article where I list out the 7 or 8 things as a stealth job seeker you can do on LinkedIn and nobody will know.
Fantastic.
And there's a lot of things you can do without anybody knowing. It's a beautiful site for that.
Thank you.
Sure. Yes, sir.
Wayne, a lot of resume advisors suggest that you now limit what's on your resume to the last, say, 10 years. Now, for a more seasoned professional that has a much longer resume, what do you suggest in terms of what is in the profile?
On LinkedIn. Okay, so here's my suggestion. The answer to that question really has to do with the general question, what should I put on my profile? I get that all the time. Should I put this club on here? Should I put my church thing? I said, I don't know. What are you trying to accomplish? Ask the following 3 questions about the thing you're thinking about putting on. Older job entries, right? Number 1, by putting this on my profile, might a new group of people be able to find me? Like your old jobs, right? Old people you work, no old people. People that you used to work with, then a job, they'll go, oh, they'll do a search and go, there he is. Scott, boy, it's been so long, now we can be a connection. So that's the first question. By adding that entry, do more people find you? And that's usually a good thing. Number two, by adding that entry, does it add to your credibility story on your profile? Is there some skill that you can flush out in the details of that paragraph of that previous job that explains why you're good at what you're doing now going forward? Number three, does that old job explain where you're trying to take your new career? Because sometimes in your summary you'll go, I'm taking this twist in my career, but it's because back in those days I love that part of this job, and then this job here I got this, and the combination of those two is the new direction I'm taking. And you'll need to list that. So just take that through. My suggestion is go all the way to college, unless there's something in there that is not good. I mean, just not good. If it's still a growth in your profession, I'd put them. Because some people, they look at those lacks of information and they just assume the worst, right? So I'm always a fan of having all those for the three reasons that I mentioned, all the way back. College kids, I tell them, got to put some high school stuff because you're short on stuff, right? It's just what it is till you get some stuff under your belt. Who else has a question?
Thanks, Wayne.
You're welcome. Thank you. My pleasure.